Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is Johnny Ugats, and this is my review of Bet to Basic. I have one rule for movies: entertain me. I've disliked some very popular films that won a lot of awards, and I'm a big fan of movies that people don't really care for. Bet to Basic is one of those films. An extremely cheap, resoundingly local film, Bet to Basic made me laugh, surprised me, and best of all, it entertained me. Hong Kong has a long history of gambling movies. Chinese people like to gamble the same way that Irish people like to drink. They also like to play mahjong. Now, strictly speaking, mahjong isn't gambling, it's a game. But so is basketball, and people gamble their basketballs off on those games, don't they? Never mind. Bet to Basic is the story of a mahjong savant named Lloyd, played by Jordan Chan-Soo-chan. He returns to Hong Kong after 20 years or so in America, and he discovers that he has an odd kind of luck. Whenever he plays mahjong, he immediately draws a winning hand, but it's the lowest winning hand you can have, Gai Wu. Lloyd's cousin, Flying Dragon, is played by Chin Carlock, in a role that lets him steal the comic spotlight just about every time he's on screen. Flying Dragon enrolls Lloyd in the King of Mahjong tournament, the semi-finals of which take place on the sidewalk in front of the Wan Chai ferry pier. And I'm not joking. If great movies can be made on low budgets, then this movie is Lawrence of Admiralty. That's not a camel, that's a minibus. Also enrolled in the tournament are Yun Hua, played by Yun Hua, and his rival Scott, played by Eric Kotman-Fai. They are accompanied by their respective protégés, Peggy and Morpheus. No, really. Played by Rain Lee and Samuel Pang. The semi-finals bring us the first of several twists in the plot. Soon enough, the tables have turned. Allegiances have changed, and new alliances are formed. Talking about it in language like that makes it seem that Bet to Basic is a lot more dignified than it really is. It's not at all, but it's still great and a lot of fun. What this film lacks in plot or directorial skill is made up for with a lot of things that make me laugh every time I watch it. A whole bunch of film parodies are on display here, including Kung Fu Hustle, Election, Fist of Fury, Full Throttle, and A Moment of Romance. Two of these are especially interesting because the people doing the parodies actually appear in the original film, and in one of them, an actor parodies his own original role. Speaking of original roles, this film is actually Chrissy Chow's film debut. She plays a hostess named Mandy, and she doesn't have any lines. And you gotta look quick, or you're gonna miss her. But she still makes out better than the actress whose character name is Anthony. That was just weird. But not as weird as a scene featuring cross-dressing that will make you more grateful for a mosaic than you ever knew you could be. This movie also features some of the most interesting and amusing commentators you may have ever seen. The two weirdos who host the semi-finals are funny enough, but Vian Leung's hosting of the finals almost steals the show. I say almost because Chin Carlock does steal that scene. Now this movie gives me a warm, nostalgic feeling when I watch it, because it seems like the sort of movie they used to make, 20 years ago. It has some monstrously rough edges, and it's never going to be mistaken for a good movie. But how can you not love a movie with tofu mahjong tiles as part of a training segment? How mad can you really get at Eric Kotman-Fai and Yun Hua in fluorescent afro wigs lip-syncing to a classic Sam Hui song about mahjong? What's not great about a movie that ends with a freeze frame of a child making an inappropriate hand gesture? I think you should watch this movie, and I'm pretty sure by now that you know how I want you to do that. In the description, there's a link where you could buy a copy of this movie. That would be splendid. If you enjoyed this review, please leave me a comment. If you didn't enjoy the review, leave me a comment anyway. And if you enjoy the channel, please think about subscribing. Thanks for watching. Flying Dragon enrolls Yeah, that was right.